Hi guys. I hope I find you well. I hope you've had a good day. I hope you're having a good day. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching us from, depending on um what time you are going to watch this video, but it's going to be one of those videos that are worth watching. If you do live in the diaspora, if you do live maybe back home, back in Africa, this is one of the videos that are worth watching. I was just reflecting after a video that I did yesterday on opportunities within the NHS, where I was actually talking about a recruitment event that's going on in the UK in Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital. So, guys, I thought I would just share because I've been getting a lot of feedback from all of you, from all of our followers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for loving us. Thank you for supporting us, guys. I thought I would come here and share my story and how I did it, guys. And when I do share, guys, disclaimer, I'm not representing any organization. I don't represent any company. Big welcome to you, Noya Max, for I Do Love You. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for always watching and showing us love. Guys, I'm just going to share a quick story of how I applied in the NHS for a healthcare assistant role. Of course, I was already in the UK, but I've always wanted to work for the NHS. I mean, because of a lot of reasons, which probably I will make a video and share. One of the many reasons why I chose to work for the NHS. I really used to work for a lovely organization, beautiful organization that had its employees at their heart, employee welfare, top-notch organization. But there are other things that made me move and go to the NHS, which I will make a video on, guys. So, guys, this is what happened. I'm sure I shared yesterday to say I started off as a bank healthcare assistant. But, guys, I joined the NHS last year, which is 2023, so it's not too long ago. But round about the time I joined the NHS, guys, a lot of information was going around to say, do they sponsor band 2, do they not sponsor band 2? Guys, I'm a band 2 healthcare assistant in the NHS, and I'm so proud of what I've done, and I'm so proud for working for such a prestigious organization. I do love my job, and I do love who I work for at the minute. So, guys, a lot of information was going on. The NHS does not sponsor band 2, it only sponsors band 3. But, guys, this is how I made that leap of faith. One of the things that I do love to say and that I do love to share about is to say, you lose nothing by trying. You lose nothing by knocking on every door. You lose nothing but by just taking that leap of faith. Whether or not you become successful, if you do become successful, good for you. If you do not, still life goes on. So that was the mode I was in when I was applying for this role. I knew I was in a job that I really loved. I was working in domiciliary care at that time, which I do miss at the minute. I do miss domiciliary care. I was thinking today I'm going to make a video on the things that I miss about domiciliary care now that I work in a different care setting altogether. So, guys, I always say to myself, by trying, I lose nothing. If I had not gotten that job, still I was going to continue in my role. If I had gotten that job, like I did in the end, I ended up having to leave the job that I really loved and enjoyed doing to join an organization that I've always dreamed for working for, where I see myself maybe achieving certain things which are in my pipeline, in my plans. So I always say, try. I know a lot of people do text me, do DM me, do reach out to me and say, Flo, what is it? Does this organization that you've actually advertised or that you've actually spoken about give sponsorship? I would say, why not apply and then ask later, which actually preempts one of the things that I'm going to talk about in this video, where I'll say, at what point, one of the questions that I get asked is, at what point should I ask if an organization has got sponsorship, if I'm looking for a sponsorship role? At what stage should one then ask an organization whether or not they do sponsor? So, guys, this is what happened to me. I was actually in a job. I was happy. I was everything. I had no solid plans of leaving. And when this role came up, nowhere in that advert they said they do offer sponsorship. I checked, and I was cocksure. They did mention that they were offering sponsorship. So I just like applied. I didn't share with anybody. I didn't ask anybody. I just said, well, I'm gonna apply. Why did I go on to apply? It's public knowledge. It's in the public domain that the NHS is one of the biggest recruiters of healthcare workers in this country, in the UK, guys. So if they are one of the biggest recruiters, right, there is no way the government would award everybody else in the country and not award the NHS the license, the sponsor license. So at the back of my mind, I knew the NHS has got whatever trust that people can whatever trust in your county or whatever trust in your town or in your city, you are guaranteed that they do have a sponsor license. So I was like, okay, they do have a license, I will apply for this job. So I went on, I applied, I gave it my all, guys. For those of you that do want to see or that do want to read my personal statement that I used to apply, I made a video. Go back in the videos that I made a video on how I applied in the NHS, and I actually went through my personal statement. I went through the whole application process. So be kind, be nice, be supportive enough to go and watch that video. You will learn a lot in there. I will not go in detail how I applied. I will not go in detail how I structured my supporting letter, because I've done that before. So go back and watch that video, guys. I'll just quickly read a comment from Miss Faye where she says, thank you, Florence. You keep pushing us. Thank you for all that you share. It's motivating indeed. Big shout out to you. Be blessed. I tap into this. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's these compliments, it's these comments, it's these very encouraging words actually that give us the energy to come here and do what we do, guys. So guys, our goal when we do come here is to share with everybody, spread the information, spread the motivation, spread the encouragement. You just never know who is going to get help by the videos and everything else that we do, guys. So this is what I did. I went on, I applied, I gave it my all, and then I just went, well, if it goes through, it does go through. Guess what, guys? I did, I think after about a week, I got an invite to an interview. So after getting my invite to an interview, they send you an email, then that directs you back to the track application, and you have to accept the invite. So I went on there. I was like, well, I'm not losing anything. No mention of sponsorship at this point in time, but obviously I knew deep inside I wanted sponsorship. For me to be able to fully work for the NHS, I knew I needed sponsorship. So what did I do? Fezile is asking me, I kindly ask, how did you get a job at the NHS? Exactly, you're at the right place at the right time, because that's what I'm talking about, how I got that job. Also, do make it a point, go and watch a video I did yesterday of where I started, because I started off as a bank healthcare assistant with the NHS, and then a few months later I got a permanent role with the NHS. So I'm just going through with everybody what I did, because when I applied for this role, it did not state that they offer sponsorship, but I knew at the back of my mind that they are on the sponsor list. They do have a sponsor license. So it's only a matter of convincing them. It's only a matter of showcasing what I have in me, that they would, go to the extent that they give me a COS. That was what was going on in my mind, to say, okay, I need to convince them. I need to show them that I can offer something. I need to show them that I can add value. I need to show them that I'm passionate about this job. I'm passionate about working for them. So guys, I got my invite to an interview and I accepted. And I do remember, when you accept that invite, there is like, you tend to pick a slot. There'll be like interview slots where you pick time and day when you want to go for your interview. So I did. And I do remember, I think I had a week and 3 days between accepting and the day of the interview. Guys, between accepting and the day of the interview, I rehearsed, I researched, I practiced like my life depended on it. But guys, remember, I did not know whether or not they were offering sponsorship or not, especially for this role in particular. Why am I emphasizing on this? I said in my description to say a leap of faith. I was faithing it. I was saying, if I do apply, I lose nothing. If I do get the job, good for me. If I do not get it, it's an experience, it's a learning curve. Now I know what to do, and now I know how to answer interview questions for the NHS. So there is benefits to everything, which is why I always say to people, why not try? Why are you not trying? Why are you even going to the extent of asking questions to say, does such and such happen? Do they do this and this? Just apply and you'll find out along the way. That's how I operate. That's how I operated. That's how I got where I am. And guys, when I do say these things, I'm not saying I'm where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And the reason why I'm sharing my story, the reason why I'm sharing this part of the journey is just to motivate somebody, is to encourage somebody to say, just take that leap of faith, just risk it, just give it your all. You just never know. It could be that one opportunity that you need to change your life. It could be that one opportunity that you need to reach your goal. So guys, I went for that interview. Guys, I had prepared. When I say I had prepared, I really, really had prepared. But one of the things that I want to mention is the fact that even when you prepare, like your life depends on it, you could become nervous in that interview. You could become anxious in that interview. But do your best. At least do your best. So I went for that interview and I gave it my all. And guys, at this point in time, I didn't know whether or not they offer sponsorship. And guess what, guys? Even in that interview, I didn't ask whether or not they do offer sponsorship. That's how I work. I don't want to preempt. I don't like showing desperation. Some people could say, why waste time by going all that length and not know whether or not it's what you want? But that's how I did it. I didn't want to come across as somebody who wants what they want. Always approach a situation with wisdom. Always approach a situation showing character and modest. Always show, I don't know how best to put it across in English. But for me, I was like, okay, I'm looking for this job. I want this. But also they are looking for an employee. They're looking for somebody to complement their team. They're looking for somebody to join their team. So it's a win-win situation, both ends. I want to join the organization. They want an employee. So I wasn't going to be the one to show that my life depended on it. No. I love to do that. I love that side of, emotional intelligence. I love that side of, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's how I approach everything. So I didn't ask in that interview. They even asked me, do you have any questions for us? I asked other questions, but not the sponsorship question. So a lot of people I've been seeing in a lot of platforms where people go like, I've been invited to an interview. Should I ask them if they do offer sponsorship? My answer to that is just go for that interview and see how that goes. Maybe when you do get the job, then ask. Because I mean, what if you don't get the job and you've actually asked? What if they do not give you that job because you've actually asked, you've shown all you're interested in is sponsorship, all you're interested in is your stay in the country. You're not worried about the job. You don't want the job. So I wanted to make sure that I have actually secured the job. I wanted to make sure that I have actually impressed them with maybe my qualifications, my skills, and everything else about me. So I went for that interview. And after the interview, they say to me, well, because we're interviewing throughout the day, we will respond, or we'll give you a response tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but definitely within 2 days you would have. So I went home. Of course I was worried. Of course now, like, I knew I wanted that job. I knew I had liked what I had seen. So, but then still I went home. I didn't ask. I kept on checking. I went to the website to check on the job. For sure, they had not mentioned that they were offering sponsorship. I'll just read the question in the comments. First, they say, thank you, Flo. If you don't mind me asking, maybe tips preparing for the interview with the NHS. I think I'll try and do a video on that. Definitely, I'll try. Today, I just want to take somebody through how I got the job and the sponsorship question, because I've been getting that a lot, right? So people want to know how I and when, because a lot of people, a lot of these organizations now, part of the reason why they are no longer mentioning that they do offer sponsorship is whenever they do mention they offer sponsorship, it's like they'll get 1 million applications because everybody want to join these organizations. So some of these organizations have gone on to the extent where they don't mention whether or not they give a sponsorship. It's something that I'm noticing now. Not even when they do have the license, they are not coming out in the open because they could have like their computers crashing because of applications and applications. So what I would say is go and check. There's a link where you can actually check on gov.uk to check if a company or an organization has got a sponsor license, and I would just apply, or I would just go to their website and see if they have vacancies. Already they're on the sponsor list, so which is a plus. Then I'll go on their website. If they do have vacancies, I'll go on and apply. And when they invite, if they like what they see in my CV and they invite me to an interview, then we can talk about sponsorship. So guys, I went home. Then the next day they rang and said, congratulations, you've got the job. We really liked you, and we do feel you are an exact fit for what we are looking for in our organization. Guys, question is, did I ask if they were offering sponsorship? No. So they started talking, oh, so how long is your notice going to be where you're working? You need to come and get your uniforms, you need to come for induction, you know, a tour of the ward and stuff. I waited for them to finish. And then I was like, yeah, I can do all that, but I can't come and work for you because I'm working for somebody and I've got sponsorship with them. I'm on a skilled worker visa. So that visa, I'm not allowed to work for somebody else who is not them. They're like, oh, so what do we do? That was the exact question, the exact words. So I say to them, I would need to get sponsorship off you. You would need to sponsor me so that I come off somebody else's sponsorship and join you. Oh, well, we don't know how that works. Why do I say that? Why am I sharing this, guys? Is to say, what I've noticed with the NHS is each and every department or each and every ward or whatever unit, they run their own recruitment on their own. So some of the people that will interview you could be like maybe your managers, your ward managers, or your deputy managers, people like that. It's not like you're interviewed by the HR headquarters or something like that, recruitment people. No, those people run recruitment paperwork to where they're forwarded to say we want this person, and then they process the paperwork. It's not like those are the people that will interview you. So what I noticed was the response I got from my manager was, you know what, I think I will need to speak to recruitment, which means recruitment is a totally different department from the department that interviewed me, from the department that I work with, right? So I was like, wow, that's good. I would like to give a shout out to the Mnemba family. I do love you. It's been a minute for real. It's been busy this week, but I do love you. And thanks so much for honoring us by coming on this platform and for always supporting us and loving us. We do love you, and we do love it when you come on here like this. So guys, I'm just sharing how I ended up, like, you know, getting employed by the NHS, in as much as the vacancies I applied for did not state they were offering sponsorship. Why am I saying that? Is because a lot of people, they don't see where it says sponsoring and they don't apply. A lot of people, whenever I suppose somebody shares an opportunity, they go like, are they sponsoring? Do they offer sponsorship? All those questions I just applied, I didn't ask. So it was when I mentioned that I was on a skilled worker visa and these are the conditions of my visa. I cannot work for someone else unless that someone else sponsors me. My manager was just like, okay, leave it to me. I'll speak to recruitment. Guys, 5 minutes later, recruitment was ringing me. Recruitment was emailing me. You see the power of taking that leap of faith and showing, always showing what you can offer before you can ask. The importance of being strategic with asking, being strategic with requesting certain things. So they were like, well, leave it to me, I'll speak to recruitment. And 10 minutes later, recruitment was ringing me, recruitment was emailing me, oh, can you send your details, fill in this form for sponsorship. Quickly, I did that. And guess what? the whole sponsorship process started going through. So why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this just to give an insight into some of the things that we can do, some of the things that we can actually faith, some of the chances that we need to take, regardless of some things not being written. One of the things that I mentioned earlier was the fact that some organizations are tired whenever if an organization advertises a post and they write offering sponsorship, they'll get 1 million responses, 1 million applications. So some organizations, they no longer put that in applications. What they just do is they just put out a vacancy, and then already they're on the sponsor list, so they can pick and choose who they want to sponsor whenever they want to. They can pick and choose because the license is theirs. So they can decide today we want to sponsor, next week we don't want, next month we want to sponsor, next month we don't want. The license is theirs. They choose what to do with it. So what I want to say when it comes to these organizations is sometimes just take that leap of faith, send in your CV, put in your application, and see how that goes. Sometimes go for that interview and see how that goes. Sometimes go for those 20 hours. Go and work for them those 20 hours. You'll be surprised a month later, they'll ask you, do you want sponsorship? I've worked for certain organizations. I've seen people work for certain organizations and they go like, after 3 months, we'll give you sponsorship. They want to see what you can offer. They want to see what sort of a person are you. They want to see your work ethic. They want to see and know what you are about. No wonder why I've decided today to call this my leap of faith, because I faithed it. There was nowhere where they mentioned they were sponsoring for that role in particular. I had to go for an interview. I didn't know they were sponsoring. I had to wait for the results of the interview. I had not asked whether or not they were sponsoring. It was when they said, you have passed the interview, would like to work with you. That's when I had to tell them, okay, if I'm going to work for you, I need sponsorship. Now the ball was in their court. What to do with it was up to them. At that point in time, I knew they had really liked me. They'd really enjoyed what I had said in that interview. I'd really come out like the best candidate then. So it was entirely up to them. And guess what? They just said, well, we will leave that to us, and we will get in touch with recruitment, and everything went on. And I do remember, I think I got my COS on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. On a Tuesday, I got my visa. Excuse me. Partly what delayed me from getting my visa was the fact that I did not apply in time. Because normally with these big organizations, in 2 days, in 1 day, in 3 days, you get your visa. So it's very, very important to be strategic. It's very, very important. Timing is important when you ask for certain things. On this platform, we do talk about professionalism. We do talk about how to carry ourselves in workplaces. And part and parcel of professionalism and carrying ourselves in a certain way is knowing when to ask, knowing what to say, and when to say it. Timing is very key. We cannot talk about professionalism and not talk about timing. At what stage do you ask for certain things? At what stage do you express certain interest? There are times when you can express interest and then really it does not materialize because they hardly know you. They hardly know what you can offer. They've hardly seen what type of a person you are. So sometimes weighing your options, weighing timing is very, very important if you're going to be successful in certain things, if you're going to be successful in certain roles. I always do encourage my friends and those people that I talk to behind the scenes. I always encourage them, just go and work those 20 hours. And when you're working those 20 hours, give them your everything. Give them your everything. Put in the hard work. Put in the work. Because you just never know who is watching you. You just never know who is looking at the work that you do. I always emphasize this to say, whatever that you do, just be mindful of what you do, be mindful of what you say, be mindful of everything around you, because you just never know who's watching you. But guys, for me, I faithed it. I went through the whole process and I never asked whether or not they were offering, because I knew sometimes you can ask, but probably you could be asking the wrong person. Sometimes you love to ask, but then probably you're asking somebody who doesn't know at what stage the organization is at. I've been privileged enough to share stories with other people. Other people have shared stories with me as well, whereby they've actually like got sponsorship of certain organizations, but it took speaking to the right person, because when they were speaking to everybody else, they were like, no, we're not sponsoring. No, we want people who do not require sponsorship. So timing is very important, and knowing who to talk to about some of these things is very, very key. So guys, for those that were asking, that's how I ended up working for the NHS. So sometimes you see these opportunities. The NHS is always advertising. Guys, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, but I do see opportunities that they do advertise. Always, always show up, always apply. You just never know where you can end up. If you feel it's for you, if you feel that's what you need, then go for it. That's just my advice. Some of the things you will ask when you become successful, or if they bring it up, yes. One of the things also that I want to emphasize is a lot of these trusts at the bottom of their application bundle or application package, they do write like, because of salary threshold, we are not. But guys, a lot of changes have happened. There's been increases in, you know, salaries for civil servants in this country and things like that. So let not certain things that can change overnight stop you from applying. A lot of people haven't been applying because they said, well, salary threshold, but then things have changed and people missed opportunities. I do remember I was talking to a friend when I said, there's been an opportunity, why don't you apply? And then they applied, and then they were like, even as we are corresponding, they are even emphasizing the fact that they're not sponsoring. And I said, just apply, just go for that interview, you'll see. And guess what? They ended up having that job. They ended up landing that role. So guys, you lose nothing. You lose nothing. Sometimes maybe these opportunities, that opportunity could be maybe your training ground, maybe it's where you're supposed to practice your interview skills. It's okay. There's always a learning curve out of it. But on a good day, it could be the breakthrough that you need. It could be that opportunity that can change your life. I don't want to lie to you. That one interview, that one leap of faith really changed my life in a very, very big way. I do hope I'll make a video on the benefits of working for the NHS. Is something that I would love to talk about. It's something that I would love to share with all of you guys. So if you do stay tuned on this platform, if you do stay tuned on this page, guys, continue to support us, continue to share this valuable information, continue to share with your friends, continue to share with family, continue to share in certain groups and platforms, guys. We do not want anybody to be left behind. One of the things that I do love to say is, if I don't share, still somebody's still gonna hear it and go and work there. So the fact that I'm not sharing with my African community doesn't mean other communities are not sharing. They're sharing, and those opportunities are going to be occupied by people from other communities. That's why I'm saying I'll do my part and I'll share with my community. And it's one of the reasons why I do love to come here and do what I do, guys. So guys, I think I've said everything I needed to say take that leap of faith. Don't go about asking other people, even me. Don't rely on saying I'll ask Flo and see what she thinks. If you see an opportunity, go for it, and then we'll ask each other later. But take the leap of faith, take that step, take that risk. You just never know where you can end up. So guys, that's all I had for today. I'll see you in the next video, guys. You have a blessed day, blessed night, blessed morning. Until next time, bye.